welcome back. I am Ari Kaplan, head of Evangelism at Databricks.
And I'm Pearl. I am a senior technical marketing engineer here at Databricks as well.
And welcome to Live from the Lakehouse. We have two special guests here today. Matei, co-founder and chief technologist at Databricks, and your friend.
Yes, this is Dolly, the sheep and the machine learning model. Yeah.
Hey, Dolly.
Hey, Dolly. I don't know if Dolly knows, but you've gone viral today on social media.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's great to have you on as co-founder. You just first want to hear, like, what are your thoughts? This is like a huge event, tens of thousands of people online and in person. Ever think it would get this big?
No, this is a lot bigger than we thought when we started out. So it's been great to see the community grow, not just around Databricks and Apache Spark and Delta Lake and so on, but just around data and AI in general, right? Like every company is using it seriously today and building so many cool things with it.
Yeah. And I couldn't help but notice on your sleeve, Unity Catalog, one of the premier things here at Databricks.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. So this is Unity Catalog is one part of our product that I've been working on quite heavily for the past couple of years. So basically, it's this single catalog that understands data and AI inside your company, and so it lets you do really powerful things across them, including helping people search and discover stuff, monitor quality, track lineage, and of course set up security, compliance, access control, and so on. And it's really the only product out there that does this, So when we started out, when we started the company, basically data lakes didn't really have a governance story, and I think because we got to build this, kind of later after we saw what people are doing with AI, it became sort of the first enterprise catalog that's actually AI native and supports that.
That is awesome. I'm here to ask you all the fun questions.
Okay.
Because I know as a co-founder, you're probably constantly working, always about technology and work. And so I just kind of want to know, if you were not the co-founder of Databricks, what would you be doing instead?
Yeah, I don't know, because the thing is, the reason I became the co-founder is because I loved building sort of open source technology and having people use it and having actual users. I was a grad student, and in academia, you're supposed to publish papers, do things that are new in a research sense. No one has kind of written up the idea before. And even before I started Spark, one of my advisors was telling me, you've had too much impact, because I was working on scheduling algorithms in Hadoop MapReduce, and then I was working on the Mesos cluster manager, which is cluster manager that was used fairly widely at the time. So this person told me hey, go, you need to write more papers, come up with more algorithms, stop just building things. So I think whatever I would have done, I would have still gone on to try to build stuff for real users and really understand what they need to be successful.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you were talking before, all three of us have been teachers as well.
That's true,
you're an instructor as well. What does that mean to you?
Absolutely, yeah, it's great. Yeah, so I split my time, basically, I also split my time being a professor at Stanford, and it's great for a couple of reasons. I think, first of all, when you're teaching something, it gets you to think about it in a different way, and often, I kind of get new ideas when I reteach, the same lecture I've been doing every year on, some basic thing. I'm oh yeah, that is, that's kind of interesting. What if we did it a different way? And the other thing, in a university, you get really awesome students to do research as well. So my PhD students are super awesome. They've done so many exciting things, and I'm learning a lot from them. They can explore all these areas that I personally wouldn't have time to dive deeply into. So yeah.
That is really cool. We have so many things taking place this week. So over 300 sessions. Are there any that you are personally looking forward to?
Yeah, well, I'm, my schedule at these events is always a little weird. I would love to just go drop into talks at the beginning of the company. I could do that, but now, the event team fills up every minute with different things I can do. But I'm actually really excited for some of the discussions tomorrow morning. Today, we had a lot of product announcements, mostly around Databricks, some Delta Lake and stuff. But tomorrow we have a lot more kind of long-term, like visionary type of content. So I'm hosting a panel with 3 amazing AI faculty. We have Daniela Hus, the director of like MIT CSAIL, and Mike Carbon, who actually is also a co-founder of Mosaic ML, and also Don Song from UC Berkeley. So that will be fun. And we also have a fireside chat with Eric Schmidt. That will be super exciting because he, since being, at Google, he's now left and he's fully focused on AI and its impact on society. So it's fun to step back and think about that.
Yeah, I love all those guests. Eric Schmidt, Mark Anderson.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the history of the world of data, AI, internet.
Exactly.
And now we're here, like Databricks modern data stack.
Yeah.
So I love that progression, and now, of course, large language models, and we're talking Mosaic ML. But what are some of the announcements that we've already made that are pretty exciting for you? Maybe around governance. Unity catalog, all of that.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think one exciting thing for all the data folks out there, I saw people commenting about this on like LinkedIn and Twitter, is actually Lakehouse Federation, which is the ability in Unity Catalog to like manage data that sits outside Databricks and all these other compute platforms, like every data warehouse out there and so on. And the thing with that is, in most enterprises, like you do have data in many silos, and you would love to have a central place to give users access so they have one screen where they can kind of query all of them, make sure they get really good performance, and also govern it, track who's asking what, set policies and so on. And we built all those features inside Databricks, but you had to like move your data to a Lakehouse. It's a lot of work. So now you can just get it on your existing data, and it's just something a lot of companies have wanted, and it just makes sense, after we did all that investment to let you use it in more stuff. So that's kind of, in the data space. Obviously, I'm very excited about the AI things as well. Super excited about Mosaic, about the Lakehouse AI product, which is what we use to let you build AI models, including all the life cycle of data, like before and after, which helps a lot. And perhaps the wildcard one, the one that could be, kind of company defining in the future is Lakehouse IQ, the natural language engine that actually tries to understand your business and be able to answer business questions. So that's very researchy, but that could really kind of shift the way people work with data.
Yeah, I think all of that is incredibly important, and it sets Databricks up for many years to come. And also importantly, it's going to help customers. It's going to help community and open source, as you say.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be benefiting. And one of the points that you made, that moving data around or avoiding moving data, that's one of the key things I love about this modern data stack and the architectures.
Yep.
If you have to move things around, it could double, triple the cost, the time. So that's one of the key benefactors of it.
Yes, thank you so much, by the way, for being here, because I know you're super, super busy.
No worries.
I know you're running around like you shared. I kind of wanted to know, after this crazy week is over, do you have any plans to relax, travel?
Yeah, I mean, after this, my plan is just to sort of chill for a few days. I didn't even want to plan,
I'm with you.
doing anything super involved. But luckily, there is a long weekend. There's like 4th of July, so it should be nice. And, it's getting really nice out in the Bay Area, so just enjoy some sunshine. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm with you.
Yeah, and then, one of the things is there's tons of watch parties all over the world, 157 countries. Do you travel a lot? Do you want to say hello?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, hello everyone. Really excited if you're watching the live stream now. Definitely tune in tomorrow as well for some really cool things in Apache Spark, Delta Lake, a lot more details on Uniform, and just all the AI and visionary discussions. I do travel a bunch, and it's been nice for travel to reopen and to get to go and like sort of just hear everyone's perspectives, meet customers and users out there. It's always like super, super interesting. Yeah.
Great. And I'll let you ask one, but my thing that I'm like, if I ever get to meet Matei, so I'm very glad I did. Thank you for having us at the company. Is like Apache Spark, MLflow, Delta Lake, open source. I had no idea just how huge they are. We're getting tens of millions of downloads every month. That like blows my mind. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think open source is just this this force that's here to stay in the software development world. It makes a lot of sense to do things collaboratively and to have these ecosystems that anyone can contribute to. So, we've tried to align our company with that trend and to actually launch technologies in areas that we thought need to be open, like Interop for ML platform tools, which is what MLflow does. There's so many startups now, so many products that are powered by it, and it really helps the users and it helps us as well. We can't build, like everything that people need, and it makes sense to collaborate and to do that. And it will. Obviously, the big question now is how much of AI will be democratized and open source. I'm personally very optimistic about that. I think it will get much less expensive. Once we crack the code on how to do one of these things, we end up figuring out ways to do it much more efficiently. So we'll see how that goes.
Right. That is awesome. Well, we are almost at time. I just want to say, first, thank you again for being here. I mean, you could be anywhere right now, but you're here with us. I know I really appreciate it. I know the audience definitely does. Ari?
Oh my God, thank you so much. Keep up the great work. You have a lot of fans. There's a huge community out there that is very appreciative of you and everything Databricks, all the founders have done.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, thanks for hosting this. Yeah, enjoy the show, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning here live from the Lakehouse. We just had our awesome co-founder, Matei, speak. Coming right up, we have Scott Starbird, part of the General Counsel of Affairs here at Databricks. Hi, Scott.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Grab a seat. Let me get you comfortable.
If I can, yes.
I know, these chairs are something. But how's your day been? How's your week been so far?
This part has been exciting.
I know, it's been a lot.
It's always exciting.
It's electric in here. People are hustling and bustling. There's so many people. I am so excited for the turnout.
And I'm excited about the topic here, too.
Yes, you have a lot to share. I would want you to just get started. So whenever you're ready, honestly.
Yeah, great. Yeah, in keeping with the theme of the conference, we are here today. I'm really happy to be here today to talk about ethics and AI. We think of it in terms of the responsible use of AI. And this is a B2B conference, so thinking about it in a B2B context.
That's right.
So I spend much of my time in public affairs at Databricks following the emerging AI regulations and the policy debate. And I think about the risks that people are looking at in terms of AI in these basic buckets. And these are the kind of the general subjects that people are looking at. Until recently, until ChatGPT, a lot of the regulations that were emerging in the US focused on bias, and a lot of the ethics debate, and responsible use debate focused on bias and decision making, like employment decisions. But with generative AI making such a splash, a lot of these other subjects have become even more important, although the bias issue is hugely important. But people are so concerned about content and transparency, whether people are being deceived into thinking that they're actually talking to a human when they're not. And then impact on jobs. Lots of people are asking about that. People are asking, my kids are asking, is my job going to be affected? My job prospect, in the case of my kids. And these are all issues that we're very concerned about. I do want to hone in on some issues that are most relevant to this audience, I think, the B2B context. And in keeping with not only the theme of Databricks forever in terms of democratizing AI or data, we are all about democratizing AI as well, as Ali and others have mentioned today. And we think that is crucial, not just from a business point of view, but from a responsible use point of view, because it's just important that it be broadly available.
That's right.
And that companies in particular can own and control the model, because they're going to put their own data in it that's very specialized and frankly can consist of trade secrets. And the possibility of those leaking we look at it as a responsible use issue. And so that has become, I think, a very, very important issue for us. And fortunately, as champions of not only democratizing AI, but of open source AI, that's very much in keeping with this issue. In generative AI, the foundation models that we're involved with are capable of all of the potentially raising the issues that generative AI raises. It's in the B2B context, so it's more confined. It's a little bit less of a concern, but it's something that we definitely focus on. The bias issue that I mentioned, decision-making algorithms with some of the use cases that our customers deal with, that could be an issue. Even potentially in some of the use cases where we have AI internally, we look at that and care about that. The productivity tools, most of the things that our customers are using AI for improve employee productivity. And that's where the questions about job impact come about. There will definitely be disruption in terms of jobs. There will be some jobs that will be less important, but we do believe that net in the long run, there'll be an increase in jobs, not only because of new kinds of jobs coming about through AI, but AI is going to provide a productivity boost to our economy. We're absolutely convinced of it. I think we're already seeing that in the numbers. We're certainly seeing that in the use cases that a lot of our customers are applying AI to. Another thing I keep thinking about is that there's been a lot of talk forever about reducing the work week. I don't think that's right around the corner, but I think that if AI makes everybody 10 or 20% more productive, then maybe that 4-day work week is something that you never know. And maybe Macron in France could get there quicker if he applied AI more aggressively. But I do think that an answer like that is part of what will happen. Now, Databricks and our customers and others and society as a whole needs to think about retraining to help address this issue. But we are actually very optimistic that in the long run, everything will come out great, and there will actually be a big boost to the economy and to job creation. Another one that is something that very few people were thinking about until recently in terms of software is the carbon footprint impact. But the amount of compute resources, electricity, that is being used to train some of these giant models and also to run them over time through the inference phase is potentially pretty significant. And so that is something that we care about.
That's awesome.
And there are a few considerations that are unique to open source. I've mentioned a couple of them a little bit, but some of the key advantages are that it's very transparent. In the regulations, one of the things that the regulators in the EU, for example, are talking about imposing on high-risk AI is forcing you to give us, the regulators, your source code. Well, with open source, that source code is open and available to anybody to look at from the get-go. So from a compliance point of view and an ethical use point of view, open source is already there. We've mentioned that open source it can be lower cost, and you can tailor the model better. So you can right-size the model, both to lower your cost, but also to lower the compute that's used and the impact on the environment. And really importantly, for a lot of the use cases that our customers have, open source lets you take the model, put it in your cloud, and use your data, and you don't have to release it to anybody. You don't have to risk sharing it with a third-party provider, and you can control that data and avoid leakage. And so we think that that's crucial, not only from a privacy point of view, but a protection of trade data point of view, and a cybersecurity point of view as well. So we think there's a lot of advantages to open source. There are a couple of concerns, but they're unique to open source in the sense that they come with open source. And I think very few people would say, well, open source is bad and needs to be shut down. At least there's so much productivity gain. But it is harder to control who ultimately can grab that model and use it for whatever purpose. We're not that worried about it in the context of this conference and the things our users are going to be putting AI to use for. But it's understandable the regulators care about that, and we'll have to look at that going forward as the models get more and more powerful. But that is something to think about. And then there is this fundamental nature of open source that you can't impose obligations on the contributor or the provider that cause them to have to monitor who uses it or how it's used downstream. That's not open source. That defeats the purpose of open source. And so that's a challenge, both in terms of companies and responsible use, and also how the regulators are looking at it. But we have a strong commitment to address all of these issues. Those general ethical principles, we're very much in alignment that those need to be paid attention to. As I mentioned, we are all about democratizing AI. That's part of why we're such strong supporters of open source. And we are supporters of reasonable AI regulation. We are members of advocacy group that supports that. We are, when we have the opportunity, we support it when we talk to policymakers. It's coming, and I think there will be some voluntary adherence to the regulations even before they're enacted. There's a lot of talk about that. I think Databricks will be supportive of that, assuming that the regulations are reasonable.
That's right.
And then in terms of our platform, we have a huge focus on helping our customers meet their regulatory and their compliance and their ethical use obligations. And there are a lot of tools on our platform that help them. So Unity Catalog in particular, it's all about governance, data governance, about tracking lineage, data lineage. Those are all things that are very important to meeting the responsible use goals and the upcoming regulations. There are a lot of features in ML Flow and in Lakehouse AI that was talked about this morning that are going to be really crucial as well, very, very helpful as well. And we have a number of things under development that will be helpful. Monitoring tools, we already have some monitoring tools now for post-launch monitoring and testing and recalibration, but there is more to come and more to come very soon.
That is awesome. Honestly, Scott, you taught me something today because I did not know all about this. So I want to tell you thank you.
I've had a great day then.
You educated me. I'm just like, wow. I love how we have a commitment to making sure that we are ethical around data and AI. It's super important. I know that a lot of different people and organizations kind of get uncomfortable talking about it, but it is important. So I appreciate you taking the time today to share with me.
I'm thrilled to have had the chance.
Audience.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. And we will be going ahead and getting to our next guest. Take it away, Ari.
What a big tease.
Here we go. They're still talking there. All right, we have taken live from the Lakehouse to the exhibit hall floor. I am here with Bryan Saftler, Marketing Director here at Databricks. Say hello.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so we have known each other. We had so many fun experiences.
That's right.
And we're here to talk about all the different industries that Databricks serves. So Bryan works in all the different verticals and wanted to kick it off. Tell us about the industries.
Cool. So, every single customer of Databricks is in an industry at the end of the day. And we really care about making sure that we're helping those industry teams, and especially any customers that are coming, understand that we're not just thinking about the technology platform, we're also thinking about the canonical use cases that each of those teams are thinking about and really help them push the industry forward. And so, we're here representing, public sector, healthcare, life sciences, financial services, retail, consumer goods, manufacturing, and of course the one I look after, which is communications, media, and entertainment. And you can see the energy is just buzzing here, and it's really cool. And like you mentioned before, industry, it's super important, right? It all begins with the Lakehouse, but we build upon that, and we help each industry kind of take another step forward. It starts with taking the Lakehouse, then building on industry-specific solution accelerators. And solution accelerators are packaged notebooks, blogs on canonical use cases that help teams go from proof of concept to production just a little bit faster. And then on top of that, we build our brick builder solutions, which are great ISV teams and consulting partners that have built other types of canonical use cases. We have our consulting partners, solution integrators here, all designed to help teams make sure that they're getting the most out of the Lakehouse and taking full advantage of their data and AI structure. It's pretty cool.
Nice. And speaking of solution accelerators, I've seen them. Not everyone listening has, but it's everything from data and notebooks, models to help get you started or help get you along the journey for in retail, like lifetime value or churn predictability. What are some other solution accelerator use cases you like?
So let's take communications, media, and entertainment, for example. We're the industry of personalization, figuring out new paths to monetization, and ultimately making sure that we're innovating and helping our customers compete. And one of the areas that we're really excited about how we can bring data and AI together is things like recommendation engines, customer lifetime value, analytics, giving you a 360-degree view of your customers. Maybe it's something as crazy as in gaming, user toxicity. How do I think about the community and reducing that toxicity in my environment so that I can have a healthier community which engages my customers on a longer time? And so all these types of solution accelerators, really one of the challenges when people are trying to implement use cases is best practices. Where do I start? How do I make sure that what I'm doing is implementing what's known as the industry best practice? Well, these are blogs and notebooks that give you the ability to kind of unpack it with your own team and really understand how that use case can come to life for your business. It's super cool.
Exactly, and speaking of like the gaming industry, we met like at the Gaming Developers Conference.
That's right.
Which was so cool. And when you talk about toxicity, one of the things is you play video games, it's real time.
Yeah.
And toxicity is like you're playing Among Us in virtual reality, some kid starts cursing or using slurs or what have you. You want to be able to detect it, block it in real time. So that's one of the great things with the Databricks Lakehouse is you could do things in real time and block that immediately versus a 15-hour processing wait time that you couldn't do without the Lakehouse.
I mean, every industry has great examples of how they're really pushing the edge with data and AI. But in media and entertainment, it's really an industry of streaming in real time. If you can't interact and engage with customers as they're using your device or on their PC or on a gaming console, for example, you might lose them. And so really what we're here trying to help teams understand is you're great at building a game, or you're wonderful at building a great streaming service, or you know everything about your telecommunications. But how can we help you think more like a data and AI company? Start first from fully understanding your audience so that you can better find them online and then activate them so they stay with you longer. That's critical. And part of what we're trying to showcase here is real-world customers, big and small, understanding what it is that they're doing with their data so that if you're coming to the table and like, oh man, Disney's doing this recommendation engine that I really love, let's help you unpack that. Let's talk about what it means to build recommendations engines, and then let's show how that can be built into your own models, into your own systems, so that it works for your business and maybe your specific use cases.
Right, and two different ways you could look at use cases. One is, it's a general platform. You're storing data, you're querying data, you're doing real-time analytics, AI, all that. So it's like generalized, but there is something to be said about industries.
Yeah.
Having people at Databricks who can work with you, who have the experience, having a partner ecosystem, and having one of the best things is you have like 8 of the 10, pretty much in every segment, 7 of the top 10, banks, pharmaceuticals, healthcare people, and we can learn from all of each other.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about industry knowledge, domain knowledge that could be applied. It is different in many ways.
What you just hit it on the head. Our solution accelerators are so powerful because they start first with real-world examples. They're built alongside of our customers. We learn the best practices for the industry. Then we build that into blogs and notebooks that we can help translate that knowledge to the rest of the industry. So if you guys haven't checked this out, definitely go to databricks.com/solutions, and you're going to see the different solutions that we have available for different industries. And all of our solution accelerators are available by industry on those pages. It's really helpful.
Nice, and one of the things we've been talking about, big companies and huge, billion, trillion records, but this is also good for small companies.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little about all that?
When you think about what makes solution accelerators, even the way we think about industries, really powerful, is the fact that we can help smaller teams think, the 2-person video game shop, or maybe a startup that's just getting going, compete with the larger studios. And the way that we do that is we look at the solution accelerators, helping them take some of that best practice use cases, build it from proof of concept into production in days or weeks instead of weeks and months. And just by doing that, we're helping them better compete. And it's all about democratizing data and AI, as you heard from Ollie earlier this week, I should say.
Great. Yeah. So we talked media entertainment where you're at. It's huge. We have some of the biggest customers, some of the biggest streaming enterprises on the planet. I don't know if you want to talk about them, but financial services, retail, consumer goods. We're talking, like Walmart's, but also small innovative companies.
Yeah, I mean, let's go like in comms, media, and entertainment. You got, the Disneys of the world, the Comcasts of the world, the AT&Ts of the world building their data enterprise, platform on top of the Lakehouse. But then you also have really small studios, like in gaming, you have a few person studios like Haiku Games and Calibri Games building on top of the Lakehouse, taking advantage of the same technology that these bigger studios, bigger companies are using. And that is everywhere from public sector and healthcare, life sciences, retail, manufacturing, you name it. And what I so love about talking with customers, seeing the energy that's on the floor here, is we're constantly learning, we're listening, we're hearing what the next thing is coming out, and we go away, we then go build those solution accelerators into the process. We work with our consulting and solution integrators, and we just make sure that no matter what, we're always providing that value to our customers.
Yeah, and it's all about customers adding value, and like meeting with people is key. And that's one of the things I've loved having come on board here. But like, what are some of the conferences? We talked about the gamer developer. What other industry-specific conferences might you see us at?
Yeah, if you're in financial services, we'll see you at Money 2020, or HIMSS for healthcare life sciences, NRF for retail and manufacturing, retail and consumer goods, Hannover Messe for manufacturing. We'll be at Barcelona's Mobile World Congress this year for communications, media, and entertainment. So wherever customers are, Databricks is going to be there. We're going to be participating in some form or another. We have tight partnerships with AWS and Azure and Google. And so really it's about showing up where our customers are at, making sure that we're supporting them with the resources they need to be successful, and ultimately showing them not only what's best practice in the industry, but also helping them think through what's coming next so that they can better prepare for it.
Wonderful. And I know 157 countries are watching us right now. This is global as well. I know we have local meetups in pretty much every region. So this is really global. I know we have like a few seconds left. Anything you want to tell us about yourself? What do you do on a daily basis?
Man, I just love telling stories and just being part of the ride, man. Data and AI is the future, and I'm so thankful that Databricks is really building the platform that teams can take advantage and really go to the next level. And like we said, so just as like a plug, remember to go to databricks.com/solutions. You'll see all of our industries there. And again, do not miss out. Thank you guys so much for paying attention and being part of Data and AI Summit.
Well, great. Well, I love the idea of having come. This is the only time we're going onto the exhibit hall floor. This is just the industry lounge.
Yeah.
There's so many other partners here, but you can tell the buzz. Everyone's coming out here. So thank you so much. Bryan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Ari. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Take care.